Hey everybody, how you doing? We'll get started with the net here in a second. As in a couple minutes, I'm going to. A couple people are wondering what the quick call sounds like. So you can hear the quick call with the pages I'm about to send out. A lot of people don't like these. They are super obnoxious, but that's kind of the point. I must not have the right thing put in here. There we go. Because you can't hear these normally. It's muted on my local receiver. Here's the obnoxious one. Followed by the one that would activate the main transit fire pagers in Amherst. Good evening, operators and listeners. This is United States GMRS station WREI383 Bill, located at an undisclosed transmitter facility in Henderson, Nevada, United States of America. Break. Tonight's net is a directed net. Stations will only be granted permission to speak when requested and all that fun stuff. It's actually just a laid-back, informal kind of net to get a little bit more activity rolling over here on GMRS and Area 55, 462.550 megacycles. This is the WREI repeater, which is located on a 100-foot communication tower about the 85-foot level in downtown Henderson. And this is Bill, WREI383, also known on the ham band as N4NJJ. Your net control for tonight. Let me drop it. I literally just walked in the door from work. That's why I'm still wearing my work attire. If you're watching on the live stream, this is being streamed live out over YouTube. If you haven't already done so, please go to N4NJJ and hit the big red subscribe button. That way you'll be notified next time I go live, which I generally go live for all of my nets. I will be starting to put together a ham radio net that will happen. I believe it will be on Sunday evenings. And it will be a joint venture between amateurs here as well as some ham operators I'm affiliated with in Tennessee, in the Nashville area, as well as in upstate New York outside of Buffalo. Okay, just posted the reminder on the Facebook group. Do I have any portable or mobile stations? Only any portable, or let's not do the portables because there's a lot of guys running around with just portables. Let's do any mobile stations, any mobile or short timers. Please call WREI383 now. It might just be me tonight. That's Chris, the Grand Poobah. WQYS453. Chris. Okay, Chris, we got you on. It sounded like somebody else was trying to check in as well, but you took them out. Was there somebody else on a mobile trying to check in? Please call WREI383. No worries, Billy. We got you in there. Anybody else? Please, any other mobiles, that is. Call WREI 383. Okay, negative on that. Let's see. Anybody else? General call up. General call up. Anybody out there wishing to check in to the Area 55 net tonight? Please call WREI 383 now. Okay, got 221. I'll come back to you in a second. Anybody else? Anybody else? I thought they sounded like there was a double in there. Call net control now.
N4NJJ.
All right, we got U301. Anybody else? Anybody else? Please call net.
WRGL659. Simon, good evening, Bill.
Okay, we got you, Simon, 659. Anybody else? Anybody else? Please call net control. All right, let's take a pause there. We'll go to the top of the list. Chris, WQYS453. Welcome to the net tonight. We're excited that you're here. I know others are as well. The nets are only possible and successful when people are here. And I know for many, nets might be the only way you get on the air. Maybe it's the only excuse you can get with the wife to get some radio time, whatever. So the success of the net has really nothing to do with the net control. It has everything to do with all of you guys checking in, and ladies, if there's a lady who wants to check in, I guess. But let's go to Chris, WQYS453. Next Thursday, Chris, is Thanksgiving, but there is also a historical event that took place today in history. Do you know what that is? That's our question of the week for everybody, at least until someone figures it out. What historical event happened today in history? It's all yours, Chris, whatever you got. Come on.
Yeah, I'm already in bed here, so I'm just didn't have a whole lot for the net tonight. Just wanted to check in and say hi to everybody.
Okay, Chris. Well, thank you for being there anyways. The dedicated operator that you are. Let's go over to Billy, WRJT439. It's all yours from WREI383. Okay, Billy. Yeah, when you when this Corona surge and everything, I think this is probably the last big hump. We'll have to meet up over there at Hammers. The wife and I have been there one time and never had anything against it. It's just I never went back for no reason other than I just never went back. So we'll have to meet up over there. I think some of the other guys out here would be into a Hammers type place as well. So cool beans. Thanks for being there. Did you have an answer or a guess for the question of the week?
Negative. I do not know. I was thinking about Googling real quick, but
that's cheating, man. Yeah, you know, I don't know. That's cheating, man. So, all right. Well, we'll come back maybe in a second round if you got any other comments or got any guesses. All right. So the next one's 221. I think it's you said Ivan, but I might have been totally off on that. So I don't know who that was. It was the guy with the call that ended in 221. It's all yours from WREI383.
yeah, that was Jim Henderson. Still this new guy.
Oh, okay, Jim. I see. Jim, what's your call sign again there, buddy?
Whiskey Romeo Juliet Uniform 221.
Okay, so Whiskey Romeo Juliet Uniform 221 Jim Henderson by Sunset Station. All right, so next Thursday's Thanksgiving, but today is a historical day in history. Do you know what happened in history on this day? Or do you got anything else for the net for that matter? It's all yours, Jim. Go ahead. I guess I asked
No, listen,
questions too hard.
and I was really thinking about cheating. Nothing else.
All right, I might go with a hint in a little bit. Don't resort to cheating, you guys. Come on, we're radio operators. All right, well, thanks, Jim, for being there, and your radio's working. You sound good. So I'm glad that you got some of that stuff figured out, and the guys in Las Vegas, GMRS, were able to help you out. There is a GMRS page for those that don't know. There's a GMRS page on Facebook. Chris just uploaded an updated map with where repeaters are located, with push pins on Google, as well as the frequency info and other pertinent details for programming your radio and things. So you want to go check that out. Join the group. Chris is the owner of the thing. I'm one of the moderators. So if you go over there, it is a closed group. So your membership does have to get approved, which that just means we don't have to deal with Ray-Ban sunglass sales and solicitations, and if someone decides to be an Adam Henry, they can get shown the door. So go check that out. Also check out Las Vegas Ham Radio. That is a Facebook page that will have information up there. A couple of us run it on the ham radio side, and there's a website, lasvegashamradio.com, as well, that has information. And right now it has a fairly accurate list of the machines that are actually on the air for ham radio. So if you're looking to get into ham radio, that's something to check out. Let me drop it. Okay, I don't remember how long I set the timeout timer. I want to say the timeout timer is set to 15 minutes, but I don't remember, so I don't want to be that guy. All right, let's just take a pause here before we go to 301-659 and 376. Is there anybody out there who'd like to check into the net tonight that hasn't already gotten on the list? We'd love to have you join us. This is WREI383 with the Area 55 net. Nothing, this isn't any you gotta be a member or secret society or anything. Just basically people was looking to get on the radio and do something on a Thursday night. If you're looking to check into the net and haven't already done so, please call Net Control now. Time. So in Vegas, there's most of the GMRS activities in the northwest part of town. So us Hendertucky guys kind of get shut out because RHTs don't always cover that area. And you can definitely tell by tonight's check-ins, with the exception of the Tule Spring station, it's mostly Hendertucky guys. Okay, we picked up Tim, QZD494. Anybody else wanting to check in, please call Net Control now. Okay, so let's go to RAF 301. Being Net Control is not too hard if you want to try it sometime. All right, 301. It's all yours from Net Control. You got an answer to the question of the week. Comments, concerns, threats, queries, whatever you got. Let's hear it. This is WREI383. Go ahead. I think we lost 301. WRAF 301, are you still there, buddy? Okay, I think he was trying to get in there. Go ahead, 301. All right, we'll come back to you just in case something happened. I think Simon's next. WRJL659er. Simon, it's good to hear you on the net again. I didn't get your location marked down on my list, which I suppose I probably could just look from last week. But I guess where's the fun in that? So, Simon, you got questions, comments? You got an answer to the question of the week? Whatever you got, let's hear it. This is WREI383. Go ahead.
good to hear, everybody. Great that been following the saga of Jim. Great that he's on the line.
Okay, Josh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Simon. So, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from originally? Because obviously you got a little bit different accent than I do. I got that obnoxious upstate New York one. So when you kind of alluded to it there, would you care to share?
So we're the guys who were trying to tax all of your tea.
Okay, well that does give a little bit of a hint to the question of the week, but okay, so that's cool. Is there well, I'll come back to you in a second. So I was gonna ask if there's like GMRS or what, if you know what radio's like over in the land where they try to tax our tea. I don't even drink tea, so what do I care? So I'll come back to you. I just don't want to leave the next guy hanging here. W Romeo JP 376, Josh, it's all yours from Net Control. I think we got more people watching than checking in. Okay, so Josh is up there at Tule Springs. He checked in on YouTube, so I don't know if that means he's not by radio or not, or not able to get into this. But we got you, Josh, if you're out there. I just can't put it in the comments right now. Can't multitask. All right, so WQZD494 Tim and Henderson. Please, I hope you didn't cheat on this one. The question of the week is, we know next Thursday is Thanksgiving. However, today is a day in history. And it doesn't necessarily need to be American history. Do you know what the historical event is that happened today? With that, any other comments, questions, answers? Go ahead, Tim.
How dare you, sir, try to malign my side business character. But, hello, Simon. Simon, you hide your, my history is,
Yeah, I don't know where you're at, Tim. You're not holding it.
But you hide your accent well, my friend. And, yeah, let's put Bill out of his misery here with this, taxi history question, yeah. Shoot, okay. Stand by, let me try power. Is this any better, Bill? Once you profile for Q1.
Yeah, a little bit. It does sound like you're moving around or something, though. But try it.
I apologize, guys. I'm actually standing, I'm deliberately freezing my butt out outside, standing on my driveway with a handheld about a mile away from Bill's house. But yeah, it's the anniversary of 4 score and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition
Damn, he
that
got
all
it, man.
men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that
So,
nation or
does
any
he actually know this? Put it in the comments below. Does he actually know this? Or is he reading this?
we are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is an altogether fitting and proper that we do this. And so on and so on. So, anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. WQZD494, going back inside.
All right, yeah, you got it. Now the question, I guess, for everybody else, question of the week is, did he actually know that and have that memorized, or was he reading that online? So, yeah, Tim got the answer to the question of the week. It is the Gettysburg Address, 157th anniversary of that today. So, thank you, Tim. I guess my question lived on for like 8 seconds. Let's see. Anybody else out there wishing to check into the net tonight? Please call Net Control now. Somebody's not holding it. That was somebody, but you weren't holding it. Try it again. Yeah, negative. You're not making the machine for some reason. I'm gonna pull up the output or input. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's just not working out for you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Last call.
In 1775, a gun club was newly established in a bar or cabin.
Okay, what's the name of the gun club that was established?
Gun Tavern, Philadelphia.
Can't say I know that one, but that's pretty cool. Especially considering the other reference to that time period earlier today. All right, cool.
United States Marine Corps.
Oh, is today the birthday of the U.S. Marines?
On the 10th.
Oh, okay, so that was last week. All right, well that's cool. Let's see. Anybody else got anything for the net before I close it down?
6597 question for you, Bill, if I can.
Yeah, go ahead, Simon.
Technicality, I suppose I could Google it, but can you explain, people are using the term desensing, and I think possibly when you're using too much power too close to the repeater, which I think I may have been suffering from when I was out on the road last week. Is that a case, and can you explain what that is?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So let me see here. The desense basically occurs when you have a strong transmitter or strong power output next to a receiver. And it doesn't necessarily mean your receiver is crap or no good. It's just when you're putting out a lot of power and you're going to the receiver, if it doesn't have really good receiver or really good filtering and looking only at that one specific frequency, it kind of gets lost. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to think I had the analogy just in my head and now I'm losing it. Is the like having a flashlight. So you have your flashlight that you can see in the dark. Pretend that's your receiver. Well, now you turn on the actual lights or floodlights in your backyard or whatever. The flashlight light is still there. It's still doing its job, right? But it's not going to be as strong as the floodlights. It gets kind of overpowered. So that's what happens. For the most part, when you talk about desense with repeaters, it's more the repeater desensing itself. You're not going to really experience that if you're real close to the repeater and unless you're trying to talk on a different frequency. So repeaters can desense themselves. That's why repeater inputs and outputs on UHF are traditionally 5 megahertz apart. So I'm talking right now on 467.550, and then my repeater that's about 1.25 miles up the road at another location is the one that's actually talking on 462.550. So repeaters have duplexers and special filtering and things that kind of cut down on that. Let me break. So when individual station desenses, most of the time it happens because most hams, especially new hams and guys on GMRS, tend to be running, I hate to say it, inferior radios. They're running like Bofangs and things that just, you get what you pay for kind of thing, right? So there's some receiver issues there. And then you're not going to be having the same type of filtering that a repeater is going to have just on an HT. And even if you got like an APX by Motorola or something, because it just isn't practical. So desense is a very real thing. I'm not real sure what you were experiencing or thought you were going through by being by the repeater last week, but you shouldn't have much of, generally speaking, it's not as big of a deal for the regular ham at home as it is for others. Now, 2-meter VHF will desense a little bit more in my experience than UHF will. So if you got like 3 or 4 receivers like I do, and you start talking on VHF, it will make the other receivers almost deaf. But I'm only really using ham grade equipment on VHF. I got some Motorola Astro Spectras, but they're not hooked up right now. So does that kind of answer your question or make a little bit of sense? The flashlight and room light is kind of the best analogy I could come up with on the cuff.
That really makes sense. Thank you. And maybe it was a different thing I was suffering from. Maybe the quality of the output. We were finding just as I was getting closer to the high frequency repeater, I was breaking up to people who were listening on the other side of town, and I dropped my power down on my output power, and I came through off the repeater much clearer to them. So it was just a bit strange, but that was the solution.
Yeah, now how close to the potency, because I mean that potency repeater is, I'm not going to say impossible to get to, but I can always throw in the comments, or if you want to send me an email, or I could, or if you post something on the Facebook, I'll remember. But I mean, there's a guy, a broadcast engineer, SoCal Broadcast Engineer is his YouTube channel. Go check it out, guys. He has multiple videos of him driving up to Potosi because he works for a Christian radio station out of Orange County that has a radio, a transmitter on high Potosi, and that is one gnarly road. So, but I mean, maybe you were hiking, maybe you did drive up there. How close to Potosi were you where you were experiencing that? Because that does sound kind of strange.
Main Road 160, as you crest the summit past where the Mountain Spring Saloon is. So from around there to a few miles out down that road on the way to Pahrump, it was really sketchy, and I assumed it was in a dark spot for the receiver. But I dropped the power down, and then everyone could hear me crystal clear. And then when I got to Pahrump, bang the power back up again, I could get into the repeater all the way out to, I was traveling to Wheeler's Pass, up to the mountain at Mount Sterling, and able to talk back until I went around the dark side of that mountain. So it just seemed to be a result of me running too high a power too close, or it was a coincidence.
Yeah, knowing that area, I used to work for the Boy Scouts as basically a development executive, and I would go out to the camp that is up on Potosi. You'll see the sign. So you don't actually have line of sight to high, even though you feel like, oh wow, I'm at the top of Potosi because you're on 160 headed to Pahrump. You don't actually have line of sight to high Potosi from there. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of stuff in the way. So that, on all my belief, would be what the biggest issue was. And then the other thing is, I don't know what kind. So sometime I don't know what kind of radio you're on and things. So some radios, if you're running high power and there's a bad SWR match, your radio will automatically, without even telling you, will just lower the power so it doesn't, basically cook itself. And so not knowing that, not knowing what kind of antenna you were on, there's a whole bunch of things that can happen when you're in that kind of just geographic area. So just don't assume, oh, I'm at top of Potosi on 160. So yeah, because you got to remember that Potosi machine, Paul has to run a lot more filtering than I do on this machine, or that Radioactive 600 has to run. There's a lot more filters on a mountaintop machine because the FAA has stuff up there. All the ABC federal agencies have stuff up on Potosi. There's television. There's radio broadcasters up there. Tons of ham stuff. Tons of GMRS. Tons of everybody, LMR, all sorts of stuff is up there. So everybody's got to run top-notch filters, make sure their crap's running clean because it can mess up everybody else. And, for us, it's minor annoyance for you mess up with, somehow you're messing up FAA stuff, that can be pretty bad, right? So that would be my guess. So, there's all sorts of things that happen. But that's kind of why they call it FM, freaking magic. So any anything any other comments with that, Simon? Does anybody else have comments on that? Call net control.
It all makes sense. I think I was just in the dark side of it. I know where roughly the area is. I've not driven off the road, but I've driven past it on the way out over the pass to Pioneer Saloon, etc., taking those off-road trails. And I think, yeah, you can't see it as you drop down the back of Spring Mountains. So that's probably mainly what it was. But once you get out to the other side of Rome, you can pick it up again perfectly. It's super interesting. But thank you for taking the time on your explanation. That's appreciated and good to learn, Simon.
Yep, for sure. So that's why we're here. All right, let's see. Anybody else got anything else for the net before I close it down?
Can you hear me better now? This is Brad, WREI383. I went back to the stock antenna.
Okay. Yeah, we got you now, WRAF301. You said that's Brad, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's Brett, WREN301. Yeah, earlier I was trying to use a Comet HT55 antenna, and I guess it just sucks. So I put the stock antenna back on this VX6, and it seems to be working better.
Yeah, you know, there's so many knockoff antennas now. Some of the, Nagoya has knockoffs, so some of the stuff's legit and good, other is crap, and, just the quality control kind of thing is just all over the place. So it's one of those things you buy from Amazon. You don't know what you're going to get, but at least Amazon's got good return policies and everything. So, all right, well, we got you in there. You got any comments for the net, Brett?
Thanks, Bill. No, I think I'm good. Yeah, what I was saying earlier when I was trying to get in, I was playing around with the Comet HT55 antenna. I did get it from the antenna farm, so I think it's legit. But I think it receives well. It's a good listener, but it's not a very good transmitter. But yeah, no, that's it. Thanks for doing the net. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being there. I'm going to close out the next. My dinner's waiting, and I'll catch you guys all later. I do plan on being here next Thursday for Thanksgiving. I know some people might be out with their families. Others might be ready to kill their family and need an out. So I do plan on being here. If anything changes, I will notify everybody on the Facebook group. So if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button on the N4NJJ YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Share it with your friends, your family, especially with the way everything's going now. It might be worthwhile to expose your friends and family to radio, so at least they got a little bit of an idea what it is that you do. And hey, maybe they say, "Hey, I want to get into this and on my get a license or whatever, get into ham radio as well." So we're here as a resource if you need any help, judgment free. I'm not a tech guy, but I do work. I'm an educator by trade, so I can sometimes break things down a little bit better than the engineers can. Nothing against the engineers listening. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. We're going to close out the net. WREI383, Bill and Henderson, thanking everybody for being there online and on the net. We'll see you next time. So, that's the net. That's what it is. That's what we do every Thursday. I've been trying to do this on Area 55 out here in Henderson, 462.550. If you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button somewhere on here. The bell icon, which is here or there. I don't know where it's at. But please, if you have your license, want to get involved, get active, you can always hit me up. My information is on those websites that you see right there. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And Tim, yes, you got the answer correct. So good job. All right, 73, you guys.